If you're tired of poor visibility or you're bored of the way your plain factory headlights look, the AlphaRex LUXX-Series LED projector headlights with the alpha black housings and clear lenses are going to be a great fit for your 2015 to 2023 Charger that originally came equipped with factory halogen headlights. These are a great way to get some slick modern style and seriously improved lighting output on your car for a comparatively reasonable price. They pack a ton of good stuff into an almost OEM type package, making for an easy and complete update to your Charger. Upgrading from halogen headlights to full-on LEDs is going to make a massive improvement in visibility, and the LUXX-Series lights that we have here today certainly accomplish that with a nice visual update to go along with it. While the lighting improvement is important, these are quite literally night and day from your halogens. I do want to touch on the stylistic elements here first. The internal alpha black housings give these a very aggressive look, so no matter what color car you put them on, they're going to look that much more sinister, and I think it really works well with the Charger's main appearance. The visual updates continue with these double LED light bars all the way around the outer edges. Not only do these look great, they function as your daytime running lights and also your turn signals. These are what they call switchback lights, so they light up white when they're functioning as DRLs, and they switch to amber for your turn signals. They're also sequential signals, making them just that much cooler, and if you want to run them in full amber all the time, you can do that as well. And if you also have the thought that these look a lot like the iconic daytime running lights on 7th gen Chargers, well, that's definitely not by accident. While they are a visual update, these are meant to evoke those signature lights, and they still bring that updated look to your car. They're a little bit different, but they keep that kind of theme going. And the main lighting elements here are, of course, these two big oblong projectors right in the center. These are super bright by LEDs, and they're gonna way outshine your factory halogens with a clean, crisp cutoff and a wide beam pattern. Now these also have one other fun trick up their sleeve, and it's that they feature what is called an activation light. So that's basically a little sequential light show that's going to happen when you lock or unlock the car, adding to that OEM type feel and look. It's also made better by the fact that these are DOT, SAE, and FMV 108 SS approved, making them fully street legal. Construction is all pretty first rate as well. The outer housings are constructed from polypropylene, which is an industry standard material. You've also got that glossy alpha black inner housing and clear polycarbonate lenses over top, so you can get that blacked out stealthy look without having to sacrifice lighting output. Now these lenses also have a few other tricks up their sleeve. They are coated with an anti-fogging agent, and there is yet another coating on the outside to help keep them clear in all kinds of weather conditions. And that's also going to help prevent against fading and yellowing. So these are going to look good for a long time. Inside, running the lights, these feature specially designed LED chips for superior light output and longevity. And since this entire thing is LED powered, these are going to have a nice long lifespan, and you don't have to worry about changing out bulbs. Pricing comes in at about $875 for the pair, and for a set of full LED lights that integrate like these do, that makes them a comparatively pretty good value. You're saving a bit versus some of the other options in the category, but you're definitely not sacrificing in build quality, style, or functionality. Installation is going to get a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 2 hours to complete. Now these are going to require you to run a bit of wiring in order to get the daytime running light functions properly working, and it's also going to include you needing to do a fuse tap. However, that is included. It's pretty much just a plug and play sort of deal, and then you're going to have to do power and ground. Not a big deal. If you're familiar with wiring, this is going to be easy peasy for you. You're also going to have to remove your front bumper cover to get these in as well, as you need that off to access the headlights. But this is still a pretty straightforward installation process. It's just a few more steps than you might be expecting. But we're going to walk you through that process right now. So let's head on out to the shop and we'll show you what you've got to do.
For this install, you will need an impact, a ratchet, a long extension, 7, 8, 10, and 13 millimeter sockets, a Phillips head bit or Phillips head screwdriver, a clip removal tool. Also not shown here is the jack and jack stands and a provided fuse puller or needle nose pliers. What's up guys, today we're going to be doing some headlights on our Charger, so let's get started. Alrighty guys, so we've got our vehicle on the lift. It's going to make it a little bit easier for us to work because we're going to need to remove this front bumper. We've got the hood up. We're going to start by removing this upper shroud. So we've got our clip removal tool. We've got push pins all along this, so we're going to remove all of those and get this out of the way first. Now that we've got all those out, this top part is going to be loose. Actually pop this out. Now we have a 10mm bolt right under where our fender meets our bumper on each side that we're going to have to remove. So we've got our 10mm socket on our ratchet. We'll pop that out. And we can do the same thing for the other side. So now we've got the car lifted up in the air a bit, and if you do have a front splitter or lip, you're going to need to remove that first. And then we have some 7mm screws at the bottom of our front bumper we're going to need to take off. So we've got our 7mm socket on our impact. We'll get these out of here. All right, so now we're into our fender liner, and obviously we've got our wheels off. That's going to make things much easier. And we've got our clip removal tool. We're going to need to remove the push clips around this area, as well as a few screws to pull our fender liner back to gain access to our inner bumper mounting hardware. So we'll pop these off. Also got one in here, as well as a few down bottom here. Now we've got 3 7mm screws right here that we're going to need to remove. So once again, we've got our 7mm socket. Pop these off. Next, we're going to pull down a bit on our lower vent just to kind of make some space. We're going to need to pull in on our fender liner because it does hook around our bumper. Pop that out of the way. And that should be just enough to gain access to our bumper hardware. So we're going to need a little bit more wiggle room on our fender liner, so we're going to take out a couple more of our push pins to give ourselves some room to work. So once again, we've got our clip removal tool. And I'll pop these push pins back here out. It's going to allow the front of our fender liner to drop down a little bit, which is what we need. Pull this whole thing back a bit like so. That'll give us room to access our mounting hardware for our bumper. Now we can pull our fender liner back, and this is going to be very difficult to see, but if you follow the line where your bumper meets your fender, there are 2 10mm screws we need to pull out. They're going to be facing down, so the head will be up inside of the fender. So we've got a shallow 10mm socket on our ratchet, and we'll get in there and pop these out. And this is going to be pretty tricky. And we're going to switch out to our electric ratchet with our 10mm. If you have one of these, highly recommend it. It's going to make things much easier. Once you have both of those out, grab them. Now we're going to unplug our marker light connector, so we'll come back behind it, push down on our release tab, pop that out. We're also going to need to unplug our fog lights. So we'll reach back to our connector, release our red safety tab, and unplug that as well. So now once you've reached this point on this side, you can do the same thing for the other side. So now that we have everything unbolted and unplugged, we can begin to remove our bumper. You want to very carefully pull this out and support it. So now that our bumper's off, we can begin unbolting our headlight. So we've got 2 bolts up top and 2 down bottom. So we need our 8mm socket and an extension on our impact. We'll start with these 2. Now we can get our 2 lower bolts. Get in here and get our lower ones. Get our last one. Careful to support your headlight. You don't want that falling out. Now we can pull our headlight out and unplug the single connector on the back side. We'll push in our tab, pop that out, and we can set our headlight aside. Now once you have this side out, you can do the same thing for the other side. All right, so now that we have both of our headlights out, we're going to need to add in our harness to provide proper functionality of our new headlights. So we're over here at our fuse box and our power connections as well as our ground. The first thing we want to do is come to our harness, and we're going to remove the inline fuse that's going to keep this circuit dead until we are ready to power it up. So we'll pop this fuse out. We'll just set that right up here. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our positive and negative terminals for our adapter harness. We're gonna come to our positive connector first. Now ours is a little broken for the cover, so we're just gonna pull that off, but hey. And what we wanna do is grab a 13mm socket and we're gonna loosen this nut. You don't have to fully remove it. Just enough to get this underneath. You might have to persuade that onto the stud. Once you get that on there, tighten that right back. Now that our positive's on, we can come down to our negative ground down here on our inner fender well. And for that one, we're going to grab our 10mm socket on our ratchet, loosen this nut up. Now this is right behind the washer reservoir. Coming this way, it's a little bit easier. Loosen that up. Once again, slide our terminal in place. Put that on the stud. And we'll tighten that right back down. And we can replace the cover for our positive terminal. Now you may want to notch this out for a more flush fit. You can set that right back in place. Next, we're going to need to install our provided fuse tab. So we're going to pop our fuse block cover off. It just has 2 tabs. It pops right off like so. Then you should have a fuse puller in your fuse block. If you don't, you can grab a set of needle nose pliers. We're going to be looking for fuse 39. It says 10 amp at the end of this row in between your relays and your bigger fuses. Grab that, pop that out. We'll set our fuse puller right back where it came from. It's always good to keep this in there. Tricky. There we go. And we're going to install that 10 amp fuse into our tap, like so. Then our tap is going to go right back into where we pulled that fuse out. Set that in place. Then we can reinstall our cover. Next, we're going to run the rest of our harness through our passenger side headlight area. You don't want this to get tangled on anything. Once we have that through, you're going to have a set of shorter wires and longer wires. Now our longer red connector is going to go over to our passenger side, and you can route this however you really choose. You just want to keep it out of the way of any hot or moving parts. So we'll get this over behind our horns, follow that channel. And we're going to have this routed over to our driver's side headlight. We just want this to be in the area for our driver's side headlight so we can plug that in, so we'll leave that there for now. Now your harness comes with one of these yellow single wire connectors. That's going to be routed to the passenger side headlight. It only needs to plug into the passenger side. You don't need one for the driver's side because that will communicate through the harness for both headlights. All right, so these headlights do have the capability of running amber or white DRLs. We're going to show you how to switch those right now. So you want to come to the inside of your headlight. You'll find this box with 4 Phillips head screws holding it on. We've got a Phillips head bit. We're going to unscrew that. And you want to be kind of gentle when doing this because you are screwing into plastic. We'll remove that cover. Now this does have things plugged into the back side of it, so you don't just want to snatch it out of there. You will find a single wire connector, male and female. Now if you want to run white DRLs, you will leave this unplugged and do nothing with it. If you want to run ambers, you will plug this in and reinstall your box cover. We're going to run white at first, but if you want to run amber, you plug this in and we'll show you what that looks like. So once you've done what you want to do, get your box back in place. Again, with our Phillips head bit, gently run these screws back in. Then you'll want to do the same thing for the other headlight as well, depending on which DRL color you want to run. So now we're ready to install our headlights. Now you're going to grab that red wire connector that we just installed. You're going to plug that into the white wire single connector on your headlight. Make sure that seats. Now this yellow wire has a connector plug on it. You want to take that off. You only need to install this on your passenger side, as there is only one yellow single wire connector in your harness. So just plug that in on the other side like so. Just plugs right in. We're going to recap this one to protect it. Then we can plug our main connector in. Make sure that fully seats. You want to make sure you're not pinching any of your wires. And we'll get this in position. You want to line up your headlight with the factory locator studs, like so. Then you want to grab your 8mm mounting screws and your 8mm socket and extension. We'll run one in first just to hold this in place. And we can install the other 3 bolts. Get our other top one in first. Then we'll get our 2 bottom ones in. Now we'll get our 2 lower 8mm screws in. We'll line those up. Get both of these in place. Now once you have this side in, you can do the same thing for the other headlight. Now once you have both headlights fully installed, we can come back over to that fuse that we removed out of our adapter harness. We're going to reinstall it. Now, make sure that sits all the way in. We'll close our cover back up. Now as far as your harness goes, you can secure this up out of the way and tuck it however you'd like. Again, you just want to make sure it's out of the way of any hot or moving parts, because you don't want to damage your harness or anything on the vehicle. Now that we have everything hooked up, we can reinstall our front bumper. So we've got locators on each side. You want to make sure they line up. We'll set ours on. If you need a second set of hands for this, probably should. You want to just guide it in very gently. Make sure your locators go where they're supposed to. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get the front of the bumper and the top fully in place, and we're going to reinstall these push pins first up top. That's going to help hold the bumper in place, make it much easier to work down in the fender wells while we're trying to reconnect that part. So we'll gently get this up and in place, and we'll start reinstalling our push clips. You may have to massage it around a little bit. We'll get our last 2 in on this side. Now we can also install our center beauty section. Those just slide into their tabs. A little tricky to get all the way in at first. All right, so our next step is going to be reinstalling the 2 10mm bolts holding our bumper to our fender section. This will kind of give you a better view of where they go. And doing it this way is easier to line them up, getting them back on. So you just want to make sure that goes back into where it's supposed to go. We'll get that bolt started. We can reach up in, get the other one in as well. You're going to have a little gap here for this. That's okay, that's kind of beneficial actually. You get a better angle of lining up your hardware. So now that we have both of those in, we'll bring back our 10mm socket on our ratchet and tighten those down. Next, we're going to plug back in our fog light and marker light. Start with our fog light. Set back in, lock that tab back down. And we can also plug our marker light back in. Make sure that clicks back into place. Then we can begin reinstalling our fender liner. So now we'll get our fender liner back in place. You want to make sure this goes behind your fender up to here. And we'll get this behind this lower vent area. Make sure our retainers are back behind our bumper. That'll help everything line up nicely. And we'll get this back into position as well. And we can reinstall all of our clips and screws. Now we'll start with our 3 7mm screws for our lower vent. Get those started by hand. It's a little bit easier to do it that way. We'll grab our 7mm socket and tighten these down. Now we'll reinstall all of our push clips. So we'll start with these lower ones. We can get our outer ones in. And any others you have that you pulled out. Now we are missing a few due to many previous installs. You definitely want to make sure that's secure. And once you've reached this point, you can do the same thing on the other side that will come back up and reinstall those last 2 bolts. Now we're also going to reinstall these 7mm bolts along the underside of our bumper. So we've got our 7mm socket. Get these back in place. Now one thing to take note of, these are going into threaded clips on plastic pieces, so there's no need to over tighten them. Once they're snug, they're good. Now we need to get our last 2 10mm bolts back in. So we've got one at each corner, right in here. Get these started by hand. We'll grab our 10mm socket and tighten these down. And once you have this one in, you can do the same thing for the other side. Alrighty folks, that about wraps up our review and install of our AlphaRex LUXX-Series LED projector headlights with alpha black housings and clear lenses for your 15 to 23 Charger with factory halogen headlights. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Charger, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.